Welcome to CKLA Lesson 18, Unit 4. Our learning targets for today, I can identify the different sounds for the Y spelling, and I can change singular nouns into plural nouns. Now, we talked about the Y yesterday. So far, we've learned 4 different sounds for the Y. So we're going to look at the other sounds for the Y today, the other sound. The first way that we make our Y sound is the consonant, which is at the beginning of the letter, and it says ye, as in yell, yarn, yes. The next way that we read the Y is I, if it falls in the middle, and you notice that it's like right beside the first consonant. So myth, symbol, system. Another Y sound that we talked about yesterday was the Y at the end of a word. We talked about Y and EY both making I sound. Cry, shy, satisfy. This is a vowel sound Y, like in funny. We trace vowel sounds in green if you're doing that flip chart. Let's complete this as a class. So you need to find workbook page 18.1 in your packet. This is a word sort. So we're going to look for the words that have the Y, as in ye, yarn, the I, like my, the E, as in myth, and the E, as in funny. So let's read the words first. So I want you to look at the top in the box, and I want you to read the words going across with me. Yellow, tricky, butterfly, baby, gym, antonym, story, dry, study, supply, crazy, fairy. Now you're going to put each one of these words into the correct column. So you're looking for the ye, I, it, E sound that the Y is making. Now you have learned 3 different ways to make singular nouns plural. So let's look at the ways that we have used the S and ES and other ways to make nouns plural. For example, dog would become dogs if you had more than one dog. So that adding an S was one way to make a noun plural. Another word, or another way, if it ended in X, CH, SH, XS, or Z, we added an ES. Like in box, the word would become boxes. Let's review the rules that we have learned so far about changing singular into plural. If there is, adding an S is your typical way. That's what you do most of the time. One clerk would become 2 clerks. Now, CH, SH, XS, or Z, if the word ends in those, we add ES. So like one branch is 2 branches. Another way is drop the Y. If you have a word that ends in a consonant Y, you drop the Y and add IES. Now, do we need to change the Y or not to make the word toy plural? Now, look at the word toy. Here you have a vowel and a Y at the end of the word. So when you have a vowel and a Y, you do not need to drop the Y and add IES. You just add an S. So the word toy becomes toys because the word ends in a vowel and a Y. Do we need to change ray? Do we need to drop the Y in that IES? So you're looking, does it end in a consonant or a vowel? So is there a consonant or vowel before the Y? There's a vowel, so we just add an S. Ray becomes rays. Stay becomes stays because there is a vowel before the Y. Do you need to change the Y or not to make the word plural? In boy, you have vowel Y, so you Don't drop the Y, you just add an S. Now, now on Monday, I saw one butterfly. Let's make this word plural. On Tuesday, I saw 3 butterflies. Now, what you're going to do in the next assignment on workbook page 101 in your packet, which is 18.2, you're going to be making these words singular or plural as needed. So you're going to have to figure out, does the word need to be made singular or plural? Butterfly would change to butterflies because you have a consonant Y. In that sentence that we changed, butterfly would become butterflies. We have a small supply of food. Now we're going to change the sentence to make it supplies. So how would you write the word supplies? It's consonant Y. So the rule is drop the Y and add IES. The spelling has to change to make that plural because of the consonant Y. Supply would become supplies. Now let's read over the words below and convert them to plural. So your singular words, read them with me. Story, lady, fairy. Now look at the letters in front of the Y. Are the letters in front of the Y a consonant or a vowel? In story, you have an R in front of your Y, which is a consonant. So we're going to drop the Y and add IES. Lady, same thing, we've got a consonant. Fairy, again, we have consonant Y. So on all 3 of these, we drop the Y and add IES. Some words ending in Y are verbs. We sometimes use these verbs in sentences in a way that require the S sound to be added at the end of the verb. I cry when I scrape my knee. She always cries at sad movies. So when you guys have to pick your appropriate verb or your correct verb, you need to read that sentence aloud and see which one makes the best sense. She cries, I cry. Do you dry the dishes? Now, dry is consonant Y. So in the next sentence, he dries the dishes after they have been washed. We drop the Y and add IES to make that sentence make sense with dries. Again, when you change Y to I, the new spelling IE, that's that I sound, stands for the sounds I, just as the Y at the end of these verbs originally did. So cry, cries, that IE takes on that same sound. The women carry heavy loads on top of their heads. He carries. So drop the Y and add IES because it's a consonant. Did you study for the test? He studies for his spelling test every Thursday night. So we're dropping the Y and add IES because it is a consonant Y. The Y at the end of these words represents the E sound. So when the spelling changes to the I, it now represents the E sound. So the same as the original. So same thing we just said. So carry, carries. You still hear that E. Now you're going to complete workbook page 18.2, where you're making your singular and plurals. You're changing your nouns or verbs to be singular or plural. Now our I can statements for today, we'll review them one more time. I can identify the different sounds for the Y spelling, and I can change singular nouns and verbs into plural nouns and verbs. Have a great day.